Now, this conversation is about church. It just rests on my spirit this morning to talk about church. A lot of people church hopping, that is spiritual adultery, by the way. I mean, spiritual fornication. Once you're church hopping, that's spiritual fornication. And if you're baptized in a church and you become a part of a body and then you're church hopping, that is adultery, spiritual adultery. Now, what happens with a lot of people with church is that people go to church and have an expectation. And yes, you're supposed to have an expectation, but you see, you can't have an expectation without you putting out to the situation. A lot of people having problem in church because they expect favor in church. And other than favor, a lot of people expect to have their comfort in church. Now, I could tell you that one of the biggest challenges church people have is how to give up the comfort. Because a church is a place where people expected, well, at least some churches are supposed to expect it to work. It's a place for labor, because a church is supposed to be like a family, a body of people that come, that is supposed and expected to be rightly fitted together. I working with you, you working with me to build the church, which is the business of God. And once you get yourself in that mode, when you come, and once the pastor and the system allows you to, that is what really supposed to build the body of people as to see progress and everything. Now, some of the challenges it have in church now is that sometimes leadership don't allow that. Sometimes structure don't allow that. But what really happened with churches is that all churches have a menu. And this is the part of this conversation I want to pay attention to more than what I said just now. All churches have a menu. What is a menu? A menu is the word and the ambience, the environment. And you have a choice. Because a lot of time, a lot of people don't really like what's on the menu. That don't mean what on the menu is not good for them. And if you know about food, a lot of people don't study what is healthy for them. They study what they like according to our taste. And this is why a lot of people have problems or challenges in church, because they want to taste the food. They want the preacher to preach to suit them. They want the system to adjust to suit them. So everything about church and people is one thing. And that is where the thing does get real tricky. You see, because you don't really know what good for you to a certain extent. And once you start to choose, even while you're eating what is good for you, you have to be cautious, because they tell you have a man that has put things in your food unawares, and that with pride and arrogance to step in. Right? Because sometimes you start to feel you're better than this one and you feel you're better than that one. So the point I really kind of want to play with your mind with is why you're going to church. Right? And if the body of people that you're fellowshipping with is not for you, then let God tell you that. And when God tell you that, then you can move. If not, just hold strain and see if the food that you're eating, if it's nourishing you. Because if you're in a place and the food is nourishing you and you think it's good food, then you have real problems. Right? So take the knowledge or pass it by.